all right. Good night, everyone. Good night, good night, good night. Welcome back to the conversation. This is your host, Alistair Sampson, along with Christopher Crossley. And on the road, moving ahead, moving is our next host, Micaiah Wilson. He is with us as well tonight. Want to welcome each and every one of you all back. I hope you all had a safe Christmas. We're in the year 2021. So before we get into all the check-ins and everything like that, I want persons to take the opportunity right where you are. Go ahead and like this video. Go ahead and share this with persons. Share the link with persons. Share with family, your friends, your enemy, your frenemy. You go ahead and share this. And for those who are connecting to YouTube, go ahead, like and subscribe to where we are tonight. So I want to say good night to each and every one of you here. So, how are you all going tonight?
Yeah, good night, everybody. just before we start off, what is the let's let them know. Actually, if we could, let's put the YouTube link to the our channel
Yep.
in the comment section, so that those that want to be able to check us out on YouTube, they can for the future conversations that will be coming up in the following weeks.
No problem.
Right? But yeah, I mean, 2021 is here. The last time we spoke was in December. All right, after a very unexpected 2020, and I mean, between now and then, I'm sure a lot has probably changed. I'm hoping people would have adapted and put in some new habits to adjust their lifestyle. But let me ask you, gents. I mean, we last we spoke was December. We would have spoken, yes, but outside of that, how has things changed or started? The year has started for you all.
To be quite honest, believe it or not, Christmas was racing and I just run into the new year that same speed. So it didn't slow down at all in terms of activities that I had to do business wise or everything like that. I mean, personally, I got the opportunity to check in with family and friends during this time. And I know it was a bit tough because, we like to go and power on the house, but as you say, every house will be powering, and every house you think you'll power for the Christmas will be the wrong house because of how everything is right now. So I mean, it's always wise for persons to make sure and really try to be safe as much as possible with respect to everything with COVID and stuff like that. But I think overall it was just still running. Not much slowing down with respect to that, but just trying to keep the head above water and still trying to push forward. That's the main thing.
Mike, how your switch has been for you into the new year?
Hey guys, good night everybody. Happy New Year. No, I mean 2020 was amazing in terms of mantle and the impact we were able to have with people and that kind of thing. And my hope was always that when 2021 came, people would have actioned a lot of the stuff we spoke about 2020. And in order for me to believe in that, I had to do it myself.
Right.
So I think for me, I definitely started this year with that mindset of this has to be the year. It's going to be a great year. And I mean, Christmas was a blessing just to be like as a family. And to really and truly get to reconnect and certain things you weren't able to do during the year.
True.
But in addition to that, also like January was an amazing month. Like January has been. This was one of my first years where I didn't feel like January. I shouldn't say one of my first years, but this was one of those years where January felt like it just had the correct amount of days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Correct.
So that to me that was amazing. So I'm having a good time so far.
All right, great.
Okay, well, that's good, man. That's good. Glad to hear you guys are in that groove. Well, what I can say for me is, as you can see, I don't go nowhere, right? I'm still very much adhering to all COVID restrictions. See my barber once every 2 months. Right? But the year, what can I say? The year for me has started off ridiculously busy. Some people will say that's a good thing. I don't know what that is, but I just tend to take everything in stride because for me, it's always about ensuring your health is paramount over everything else. Like when people ask me about the fact that I left my day job and went back full time, I told people, I said there's no salary with my mental health or emotional health. It's not worth it. People were confused by that, but if you understand how 2020 happened and you still put the value on life based on your salary or the amount of money you make, then you still have a lot of things to still get past and get through in your mind, because there's nothing to me more important or should be more paramount in your life than your well-being, your overall well-being, and commit to that over everything else. For me, that's like a deal breaker. If anything is threatening that, I removing it. Not this round. I'm sorry. We all see that life is definitely too short and anything can happen. All right. So we do need to kind of be in that mode of living instead of just trying to earn a living, you know?
True.
So, but all right. So tonight, everybody just tuned in. Tonight is mainly about, reigniting that fire, making sure that you are aligned with the goals that you have for 2021. We did go through so much in 2020, but we still want to like bring this home, mainly because I know there are people still dealing with it. There are probably still people still struggling with it, still trying to get a hold on a lot of things that they feel might be out of their control. So just to start us off with a quick question for you guys, in terms of what you think people should be doing right now. I know last year, over years, people tend to have all the resolutions and all that, but I think that changed this rounds. And I think a lot of people more went into goal settings. So what do you guys see as some goals that should be paramount for some people?
I think right now, where we are, a lot of times people put a lot of lofty goals towards getting rich and getting the money and getting all of these things like that. And I believe it's important that okay, so those things are fine, but I also believe that it's important that we go through certain changes in our lives as well. So I know a lot of times we speak about mindset. A lot of times we speak about changing our attitude and having a more positive outlook on how we go forward and move ahead. What I want to emphasize, especially for 2021, is to start making simple, small changes in your life and start doing those changes incrementally. I think where people fall short a lot of times is that they try to set the bar to try to do a whole set of changes all in January and end up running into a wall because you're trying to change a whole set of things, and then when you're not, and I say when you're not able to stick to it now, you just give up everything. I think what is going to be important is for persons to make small incremental changes in different aspects of their life. Is this in terms of physical exercise? This is in terms of reading a book. You heard person talk about CEOs read how many books a year, 50 books a year or 30 books a year, like that. And you could just start as simple as just reading a page a day to start off, or 3 pages a day just to start off to get to that particular goal. And it's just ready to go small and incremental and build yourself from there. And that will help in terms of building better habits in terms of moving forward. I think that's where I see it from. What about you, Mike?
My question take on it.
Um, how do I put this? To
Oh,
me,
okay.
was a year that a lot of people. You guys hear me?
Oh, we're
Yes, I
hearing
hear
it
you
loud
now.
and clear now. We were afraid for a minute there, but I think you're good.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm supposed to be able to. You hear me now, or am I in and out?
You're
Okay.
a little in and out.
Yeah.
Alright, so Chris, you go ahead. My
Yeah.
connection should be better.
All right. All
All right,
right.
we'll
No
put through.
problem. Well, just I want to extend on what Alistair mentioned there. People going too
In a
big.
little while, so you go first.
All
All
right. No
right.
problem.
Okay.
So just to build on what Alistair said there with people having lofty goals. Now, like you said, it is good to have lofty goals. Nothing is wrong with that. And the whole purpose of having big goals is because you tend to grow into the person you need to become to actually achieve those goals, right? It is not going to happen overnight. You understand that. You understand that it is not something that you can go to sleep and wake up tomorrow and it's good. So the main thing that you should be looking and doing right now is as you said, the small things. Look at your daily habits right now. All right. Look at what you need to start doing, right? And the things that you need to stop doing. Because there would be some things that I'm certain that you yourself know is causing you to procrastinate, to cause self-doubt, to lower your self-esteem, and these are the things you need to start to remove so that you can actually put the good habits in place to develop the lifestyle that you want. All right. I always tell people don't worry about the big picture. The details, right, make up the bigger picture. So
Yeah.
you focus on the details, the bigger picture takes care of itself. So that and by extension, you take care of yourself that way even more because you're not going to feel overwhelmed, burdened, thinking that you're not seeing yourself getting close to this big goal, and you're actually not recognizing all the little steps that you have been taking for such a long while, and you've actually been inching closer and closer. But because your focus has been so much on the big goal, you think you're still far away from it, and you're closer than you actually think. I tell a lot of people when you look around, you may have seen bridges you've crossed. There's not bridges you're approaching, but you keep looking back so much and thinking that you're still so far away. You're closer than you think. So just keep focusing on the smaller steps, the things that you literally need to start doing. Um, I'm trying to remember, Alistair, can you remember the name of the gadget our friend Tyrell had? Um, the thing, the kind of shock wristband thing.
Oh, oh gosh.
I'm trying to, we were introduced to a gadget that what it does, it helps with conditioning yourself into doing good things and actually helping you stop bad things. And he swears by it because he lost 14 pounds using this method. So it's basically like every time you think or feel that you're falling into a bad place, the device actually applies a little shock to your wrist, right? So we tried it. It's a good shock, right?
Yeah.
But
Non-lethal.
not lethal, right? But in this case, we want people to start looking at what are the consequences. That shock is the consequences of the things that you are doing negatively right now. So instead of getting that shock to your system, think about if I do this, if I continue eating junk food, if I continue exercising, if I continue gossiping, if I continue oversleeping, if I continue not stopping to learn something new, what are the consequences of these actions?
Correct.
Let those things kind of propel you or shock you into that space of saying, you know what, I really do need to start better habits, right? It mustn't be that you actually need someone to shock you or to feel a pinch or so, or get their ribs, your ears turned or something like that.
Little
You
twist.
literally need to realize that there are consequences for every negative thing that you're doing right now and see how close you are to putting a halt to it. All right, so that's something I want people to start to focus on because yes, the same way we often want to celebrate when something good happens, we tend not to let ourselves know, hey, I need to pull up my socks on certain things and get things done. So
Yeah, it's
let's
true.
let's let's be aware of that.
I think one of the things as well too, just occurred to me, and it's not only about making bad decisions, also not making a decision at all has consequences behind it. In
Correct.
terms of you just leaving things as it is and you're afraid to make a step forward and thinking, well, if I step forward I could fall off the cliff or whatever the case may be. But also not making a decision and staying stagnant is also dangerous to your development. It's like you are among the trees that are growing and you decide that you don't want to grow again because you think it might be too hard in terms of growing. Other trees are going to pass you out in terms of your growth, and guess what? You're going to get blocked out, and you're not going to get the nourishment and the development that you need. The goal really is to continue to grow and to continue to make right decisions. But the fact of not making a decision can also have its consequence in your life as well. So it's always good. And if it is that you are lost in terms of where you need to go with respect to it, have a strong support with respect to people you can go to, a mentor or a good friend who will be able to call you on your BS if it is that's the case, or somebody that will help you in terms of growth and development. Because not every grin face is a friend. So you need to be able to cipher out in terms of that one as well too. And once you have that in your mind in terms of making a decision and actually seeking counsel with respect to what decision you want to make, if there's some bit of doubt or uncertainty, you'll be able to grow as well. So we got to be able to keep that in mind. You know?
Yeah, that's correct. And I like the analogy you used there with being amongst the trees. But I actually want to build on that. I want to see if Mike is actually right. He is live, ladies and gentlemen. No fire, right? I'm Mike. Tune in. Let's hear your take on that before we continue.
Yeah. So you guys hear me now?
Loud and clear.
Come on.
Okay. Sweet. Okay. So I fully agree and endorse everything you guys said so far. I think it's really important for us to really look at those perspectives and see exactly, the steps that needs to be taken. You know. I think in addition to that, like for me, I think I'm seeing 2021 as a year of the taker. That's what I'm seeing. Right? The year for the people who would choose to take control of their life, their situation, the situation around the world. Right? Those who take hold of the situation are the ones that will benefit the most. It has been that way throughout history, and now it's an opportunity again for that to happen. Right? I know a lot of people don't see it as an opportunity, but the reality is 2021 is going to be an opportunity for a lot of people. And I think for a lot of people who have chosen not to plan and prepare properly, they're going to have a second 2020.
Correct.
2020 2.0.
Those who believe that COVID's here, so let me just take a back seat and just stop moving and just those people are the ones that are definitely gonna feel the pinch of 2021 and it's gonna feel like 2020 all over again.
Agreed. And once again, that's because they implemented nothing new. Stagnation. That is something politically has been very detrimental. Going back to what Alistair mentioned with being a tree, growing amongst the trees and people outgrowing you. Now, some people may say, well, at least I'm in the shade. But the truth is you need to get sunlight too. But what I want to say is if you are among people, the right people, or as he mentioned, the trees that are growing, then you yourself should be encouraged and challenged to grow. Right? So are you surrounding yourself in 2021 with the people that are going to help you grow and challenge you? Right? Or are you going to link at the roots so everybody's, getting the right soil, the right nutrients to push up? Right? So think about your immediate circle. That close circular influence.
True.
What are they influencing you in right now? Is it all about doom and doom, COVID, the vaccine, if you're taking it, if it from Trinidad, prices going up, if it's all on the negative and nobody is looking at, let's start a business, let's look at investments, let's see what new skill we could learn. If nothing is propelling you within that close circle of influence, then I think it's about time you actually do some self-inspection and see if you need to move from that circle, because people always want good but never better than them. At some point,
so true.
You may need to move and be amongst some bigger trees and don't realize everybody is rose bush and
Mm-hmm.
shrub. You need to go where you can grow. You need
Yeah,
to go where the soil
Yeah,
is fertile. And it's
exactly.
not just
that is very true.
you know it's
So,
not just saying, well, having the right people,
mm-hmm.
but it's having the right people that are going somewhere. Because anybody that meets a bunch of people that actually feeds into their comfort zone will think they're around the right people. So it's
Mm-hmm.
about being the right
Yeah,
people that's going somewhere and not just feeding your comfort. So there's a lot to that.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at, I mean, I'm watching this from even a macro perspective. So a century ago, we had the Spanish flu, all right, and the Spanish flu
yeah,
was the big pandemic that I had in the world 100 years ago.
Yeah.
And if you look at the whole sequence of events that occurred, the Spanish flu had its consequence and everything like that. But you have to understand as well, at the end of the war and the Spanish flu and thing happening like that, kicked off the industrial age in the world,
Right.
because that birthed different avenues and areas of business. That didn't just happen overnight. Now they said the industrial age happened in the late 20s, going into the 30s, but the early 20s was when the Spanish flu had
Yeah.
this.
1918 to 1920.
Yeah, yeah, it started to die down. But you had to understand,
yeah,
work was happening during that particular time. And
very true.
if you're thinking generational wealth, that a lot of the generational wealth came from that industrial age when that birthed. The people who were there first, taking the opportunity of what was happening within there and capitalizing on it. This is our era right now. All right, we are living in the 20s, and right now COVID-19 is the pandemic of the world right now. And there are opportunities where we can actually see potential for certain growth if it is that we build from there. And this is going to be its own 21st century industrial age. We don't know if it's going to take, it's not going to be the form of steam and mechanical stuff that's going on there, but it's going to be a lot with respect to open commerce and disrupting how businesses really run compared to how it was a century ago. And
Yeah.
the whole thing about
Yeah,
it is being prepared for it and being able to adapt and apply learning and start to capitalize on it. Don't just watch things happen around you and figure, well, maybe I can get little pittance and things happening around here. If you can make
yeah,
certain things happen, is this the time to do it? Even if it is you start off very small in terms of learning about certain things and try and fail, try and fail, try and fail. Believe it or not, by the fourth and fifth try and fail, you have elevated to some heights compared to where you were
yeah.
before.
Right.
That's
So
true.
about fear will always be there, but don't let fear stop your application and moving forward with anything. Use the fear to fuel you if you need to. And I think that is going to be really important now more than ever. As a matter of fact, it was important last year, and it is important this year. So if you need to grow, this is the time to
Yeah,
do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As Mike said, this is the takers, right?
Mm-hmm.
But unless the people propel themselves forward, they won't be the taker, they'll be left behind.
Correct.
And as you said, they'll just be
yeah,
experiencing 2020 all over again.
yeah,
So coming out of that experience, I really do hope a lot of people adjusted and began implementing new things. I mean, people, for anybody else listening in tonight, our platform is to help you, learn what you or find out or get information on what you want to know. So
Mm-hmm.
feel free to let us know the topics or the areas, the industry that you may want to hear us speak on. And if it is we can't speak
yeah.
on it, of course, we'll always find someone that can and bring them on the show.
Oh yeah.
All right. That's
Definitely.
the purpose of this program, this platform, is to help you improve on your life skills, your skill sets, so that you can get where you want to be. All right. It's not just about feeding you or telling you, all right, go on udemy.com or EDX or Coursera and just learn.
Yeah,
Uh, Not everybody can actually learn that way. Some people need the practical. Some people need to get somebody to explain it first.
yeah,
And that's what we want to be able to provide for you guys. So the key word that I like what Alistair used there was to propel, and that is something. you need that encouragement to propel forward. 2021 is the takers, and it's yours at the end of the day. Don't be afraid to claim it.
Yeah.
You know. But Mike, let me ask you because I know how 2020 was for you in terms of your industry. 2021 has it amped up, stayed the same? Do you see new trends when it comes to health or people looking more closer at their health?
It's interesting this year in particular because usually around this time you'll see the carnival enthusiasts take over the gym and all health spaces,
Right.
right? And I mean, yes, it's notable that there is a significant dip in the number of people at the gyms, and some people will assume it's because there's no carnival, and people just not working out for carnival, but it's also because the people who are really not that serious about maintaining good health generally, those are the people who aren't coming to the gym right now, right? So it also, and this is the interesting thing, perspective is always important, no matter if you're in business, if you're um, pursuing a career in another field or whatever else. It's always important to really and truly look at things from different perspectives. So what I was able to look at was the fact that even though people who would normally come to the gym during carnival time aren't coming to the gym, right?
Mm.
Some are, yes, but the majority aren't. The people who normally would avoid the gym during carnival, they are there.
They're coming out.
Yeah, the people who will normally be too self-conscious to be around all the carnival hotties, right?
Mm.
They are coming out and taking hold of their health. They are taking it seriously. They are applying themselves. They are pushing themselves, and they are making it their time to get themselves in the right place. And I think we're going to see a lot of people who typically didn't take care of themselves be forced to take care of themselves because they are afraid of getting COVID
Right.
and the impact it can have on their life. But then also, um, the fitness industry and health industry has taken a very big push towards the online market. And because of that, it is allowing for more people, no matter what your schedule is, no matter what your time is, to access services. So a lot of people who had excuses before no longer have excuses. And I think it's amazing because a lot of people would have avoided, taking the jump because they don't want to go in front of other people and exercise. They don't want to go and expose their self-conscious behaviors to other people. And now they have a chance in the comfort of their own home to really and truly address their health and not feel ashamed, not feel as though somebody is judging their body or their physique. And I think that is one of the biggest lessons of this, in that the people who genuinely need to get themselves healthier are able now to do it because companies that were previously unable to go online are now fully online.
Look at
Yeah.
that.
And that is in every industry. So there were bills we couldn't pay online before that we could pay now so easy. So I think everybody has that particular upside to this whole situation.
Right. Well, yeah, technology is one thing that has been catapulted in literally overnight because of COVID.
Yeah,
A lot of companies, a lot of businesses adjusted to remote working, work from home. A lot of businesses, in terms of their digital space, how they connected with clients, how they actually communicate in general with
Yeah.
customers, stuff changed completely. I mean, they said what we couldn't have done before and was begging for so long happened like that,
very true.
because of COVID, right?
Yeah,
So yes, and I think that is also a big sign for people to see that because of what is happening and things moving in the way that it is, now is the time to get on the train. Look for
yeah,
things, yeah, right? Because everything is accessible now online. Yes, we understand that everybody would have access to internet, a computer, and all that. We understand that. All right. But for those that can and those do, you have no
yeah.
excuse. All right. There are many people who
None.
support digital business, from the online courses to the internet gurus. There's so much things that you can tap into right now. And even if you don't know, don't be afraid to learn. And I think that's a big thing that people need to remove this year. That
Yeah.
fear of
Yeah.
failing, that fear. I think you should fear staying the same more than fearing trying and failing. All right.
You
To
know,
me, that
it's
should be a
funny I say that
fear.
because it's funny I say that because I think a lot of people um during 2020 they were so paranoid and so fearful
Hmm.
of everything, like legit everything. And coming into 2021, a lot of people have brought those fears over in 2021, but not just in the sense of their health, but in all aspects of their life. Everything is a risk. Everything is and that's going to keep a lot of people back if they don't really and truly allow themselves to take the risk and push forward.
But I think more now than ever, man. Like I said, life is too short. Anything could happen at this point. So why would you
Yeah,
not at least try?
yeah,
The worst that could happen is that it doesn't work right now, or you learn something that didn't work and you try again. Remove that
yeah.
fear of it failing. All right. Let the thought of staying the same in 2021,
Yep.
let that be greater. All right.
Yeah.
Let try and taking the chance to achieve something be greater than studying if you feel like you really don't want to stay the same right about now. Life is too short,
Yeah.
literally too short. You can't the days of half stepping, procrastinating, wondering what ifs, that is over. Like
Gone.
like
Yeah.
literally. Because
You know, it
Mhm.
there's a concept that my wife and I have been kind of looking at recently, and it's something that I've been digging into a bit now is mindset management. You know, we speak about mindset a lot, but managing your mindset in the sense of when times like this occur, and there are going to be a lot of people that are going to be talking about everything negative about COVID, everything negative about the economy, everything negative about the government, everything negative about the health system. They're going to dwell on the negatives. And if you don't manage your mental space, those things are going to just flood your mind.
True.
And the positive thoughts you're supposed to have, the progressive thoughts you're supposed to have, are going to then become victim to these negative influences that are so prevalent around us right now.
Correct,
Yeah.
correct. Yeah, mindset management is a serious thing. That is also why I tell people if it is something threatens your well-being in any form right
Cut it
now,
off.
get rid of that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Don't be
Get
afraid to cut those things loose. Don't be afraid to cut people loose.
yeah,
people, things. I mean, I'm not saying walk away from your job or anything like that. All right. Make sure certain things are secure. All right. But seriously, your well-being this strong is paramount. I know it's something a lot of us had on the back burner. How we were just living. We didn't expect something like this to kind of put us in,
hmm
to put our mindset or thinking in a certain frame that, hey, somebody could have contacted you somewhere and you caught the virus and you would have no longer been here. All right. You'd be looking at how much people around the world that is no longer with us. Right.
Yeah.
The place right now in the world is a graveyard, right? So many ideas, books, inventions, people that would have been of influence that are not here anymore, right? So we really can't afford not to try and do things this rounds. I
yeah.
genuinely believe that. All right. I saw somebody said, okay, understanding what to invest in during this time would be a great topic to share. All right, noted. All right, we will look into that as a topic because I know people will be looking for some way to create extra streams of revenue, forms of income. Um,
Yeah.
and that's separate from people who would have lost their jobs. So we know for sure that is definitely a topic. Thanks, we will look into that.
Yeah.
All right.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I think one of the things that we're looking at as well too, and I think it kind of comes along the line of Mike, what you're speaking about in terms of people mindset and people health. And I think one of the things that we should explore, we are looking at exploring right now, and we should really go ahead and look at it. You see person's physical health, especially now that you're home. I know we had a time that we spoke on it, but I believe that no, because people were thinking, okay, it's just temporary. We're gonna be home for just 3 months, and we're gonna be back out there. No problem at all. So I put it on my SpongeBob voice. 12 months later, we still here. Okay, we still here. All right. That people suffering from carnival to banker, the working from home. Sometimes people sitting down. People now working more on the computers than how they was working on the job, because they tell themselves, well, they're home, they can just roll out of bed, go on the computer and just roll back into bed, as the case may be. And that takes a mental as well as a physical toll on you as well. So even these things like that, I think a lot of people need to know how to take care of their physical well-being during this time. Like, for instance, one of the things that I have now, I don't have it on now because that is making real noise. I actually have a little foot massage that I just had to work with, and I just turn up the heat in it as well too. A nice little gift I get. So I just put my foot on that. And that is helping in terms of circulation and everything like that. So in addition to getting up, going and get water and all these things like that, I try to keep the circulation going, because I mean, you don't want that when you try to stand up, your legs just go limp on you. No, man, you just fold up on the ground and all this kind of thing like that. But I think a lot of where we're going right now, I mean, COVID, it's here. People thought it was, and a lot of people I think were still in denial. People thought that, okay, December 31st, COVID will go on, 2021, COVID gone. Newsflash, COVID's still here. Alright? And I mean, numbers are still fluctuating within Trinidad and Tobago, and I think right now we need to understand, and people need to accept, as you rightfully say, this is a part of life now. Alright? This is not no 90-day thing, a little quick flu, walk it off, this kind of thing like that. Everything has changed, and we need to be able to change with it. So we need to definitely get people to really see that and make that adjustment. I mean, some people have adjusted well already. Some people still in denial. You know, I don't know. It's just unfortunately like that. But I think we definitely have a work to really get persons to really connect. And before I forget, for persons who are in the public service listening right now, the police, the nurses, the school teachers, shout out to you all, because I mean, you're all teaching kids while you're home. Some teachers had to get their salary deducted, a number of these things like that, and still teaching right now. Nurses, and doctors, you all, well, I mean, we're in a third world country, and sad to say, I mean, you're not working with the full state-of-the-art items that we have in terms of the health sector. And then on top of that, we have COVID, and still helping to manage how things are running right now. And I mean, we're looking at places like the US, which are first world countries that are in total chaos.
Right.
Total chaos. And you all have been stepping in terms of that. I mean, I had to say that, shout out even to the medical leaders who are out there making sure that we are well informed and trying to keep us in check as well too. So I mean, shout out to all of you all there, and we just had to make sure and do our part as well during this time to keep that number down and to get everything to some sense of normalcy. But in the meantime, we can't stand still. We had to continue growing. All right, the sun and the rain have their role in our lives. Yeah.
That's right. That's right. I can agree with you there more, because we have to give the jacket. They are doing a lot for us.
Yeah,
and it's only right that we do our part to make their job easier. Right? They don't need a flood of people.
Yeah.
When I hear about in Texas 100,000 plus a day, and I'm like,
yes,
that is ridiculous. I mean, to be facing that in hospitals and medical institutions and stuff. We really don't need that here. Our system will crash a lot quicker than theirs. So I really had to give them kudos for the great job they've done. And
Go
ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, speaking of connecting with that and us doing what we're supposed to do, people need to see this as their responsibility, their role as well, because people tend to quickly say, what is government doing? But the government will live home by you. All right.
That's like seeing somebody the other night we were going home and we saw a lady dumping garbage over a bridge, right? And then the same people will go and complain that the government not dealing with the
Garbage
drainage,
situation. Yeah.
right? And there'll be never floods now, and that's when it'll be like, yo, but you're in the problem, not the solution.
Correct.
I was like, come on, we can do better than that at least,
See,
you know.
that's
And
exciting, man.
like I'm hearing a lot of people now talking about the reasons, and I don't know if I'm living in a different Trinidad or not, but this is my personal opinion. I am perfectly okay with our borders remaining closed in this foreseeable future, but I'm hearing a lot of people saying that that needs to change, and the government don't know what they're doing, and everybody want the borders to open. A lot of people, I should say, not everybody, but a lot of
Mm,
people. And I'm confused as to why, because we've been able to manage just far because our borders aren't as accessible as other countries.
correct.
If we were to open and we have a flare up, I don't think people understand what's going to happen to our economy, our healthcare system,
Correct.
our like just people in general in this country. Like we
Mm.
haven't seen the death toll that these other countries have seen,
Yep.
and I personally want to see it.
Nope.
Nope.
Don't want to see it.
And I don't want to go back on strict lockdown again. So
Correct is right. I agree there. As much as I miss traveling, as much as I want to travel, I kind of like living more, right?
Yeah,
When
I kind of get used to it.
I get used to it, yeah,
Yeah.
it's
like I
not
told people, I, I was actually supposed to take a trip this month, but then when I looked at the amount of things that I would have to do just to leave here, and then being unsure how soon I'll come back, I was like, no, it's all right. I,
yeah.
you all can go on your trip. I could join via Zoom.
Yeah,
You could video chat me into the meeting if you want,
no
if you like,
problem.
or you'll have your meetings and just update me. Not a problem. Because it just didn't make any sense. It doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't. So I am all for the borders remaining closed. I know some people have a travel to Banca right now. We understand that. We know it's
Look at
hard.
me go.
You know, hey, you know,
They're using the big planes now, so you get the feeling as though you're going, internationally. In the past, by duty free and just reminisce.
reminiscent. Yeah, yeah. I'm
Yeah,
telling you.
just
I'm
get the
telling you.
feeling.
It's better we control and keep our country safe at this point than being selfish because
Yeah,
of
yeah,
personal desires. When we travel, it is our responsibility, and that's the main thing. It's not just
yeah,
saying what the government doing, and then you're the one not adhering to the regulations. That doesn't make any sense.
yeah,
So simple things like that in people's thinking that we need to address. Stop trying to pass the baton and putting the blame on other people. Looking and see what you are doing to contribute, or even what you are doing to try to implement change for the better. If you're just blaming and doing nothing, then you truly are doing nothing. At the end of the day,
only struggle.
yeah, yeah, you just perpetuating the pain. That don't make any sense, none whatsoever.
Yeah,
So right. So we're talking about how people could adjust and the things that they're doing for this year. We spoke about looking at the smallest, doing the smaller things daily to adjust your lifestyle, looking at what you can do that will take care of the bigger picture itself.
True.
All right. We talk about, once as always, focusing on your health. That is physical, mental, emotional. All right. We're talking about
yeah,
looking at those that are around you, your close circle of influence. Are they
yeah,
truly what you need, or do you need to move? Do you need to shift into a new circle so that you can grow? Are you doing anything to propel yourself forward, right,
yeah,
during this time where everything is catapulting at enormous speeds, especially with technology? What are you doing to get on board I always post on Facebook, big business, getting where you fit in. And this is the time for you to fit in. As Mike said, you're the
Yeah.
takers. All right.
Yeah.
So, so adding another point to all of this, um, when you're making your goals, we talked about SMART goals and stuff in the last year. We touched on it many times. But I really want people to, that first one, that S, really be specific
Yeah.
this year. All right.
Yeah.
The rest will come, but be very specific. And by being specific,
Yeah.
you will be able to break it down into smaller steps. You will be able to quote unquote reverse engineer it so that you can see where you're going. Because when it is you just put something out there,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't necessarily match with the direction you want to go. So you can just put it big, but the net is so wide, you wouldn't know where to start, right? So you really need to be specific right now in making your goals so that every month, right? It's in every month, but we know it daily, you can actually put something towards achieving it. And it's fine if it takes the entire year. Nothing is wrong with that.
Yeah.
All right. As long as you be
I have
very
a,
intentional. Good.
I'm living by a code this year. I'm living by a code this year that says, they say a plan. Oh my gosh, hold on. A plan without a goal. A goal without a plan is
Deadline?
just a wish, a
I would,
dream, right?
right.
Mm-hmm.
You're to the deadline. And we was talking last week, and we were saying that other people have dreams, but a dream without a deadline date could soon become a nightmare now. You know. And last year, last year I had a friend that there were a lot of things he wanted that he would say he planned to do. You
Mm-hmm.
know, be a change and say, I planning to do this, I planning to do that, which simply means we thought about it, right? We thought it came to our
Right.
mind and that was about it, right? That's how changes so. I plan to do so and so, and it may never happen, right? But he had this dream of doing some stuff and he never really pursued it. And we
Mm-hmm.
always say once you develop that thought, it's now in the atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody else did the exact same thing he was planning to do.
Energy. Yeah.
And it literally shattered him because now it's like a pain, it haunting him now. So you're saying that it became a nightmare for him now because what was supposed to be this beautiful dream, somebody has taken it and now for him it's a nightmare because now he can't really enter that space that he wanted to enter before in that business. And I realized to myself that if you don't take it from here and set those smart goals and deadlines and everything for it, it can become a nightmare for you eventually and causes some serious pain.
Yeah. Regret.
Some mental pain, some emotional pain. I think all of us would have gone through that at some point in time where we would have wanted to do something,
Mm-hmm.
didn't do it, and then when either somebody else did it or when the time passed, the pain you feel after sometimes you're like,
Yeah, right. Deep grief, let us call
you
it.
know,
Coulda, woulda, shoulda.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I think that this year is a year where we should avoid that at all costs.
Mm-hmm.
It's already a hard time now, but let we do cause
Don't make it. Yeah,
ourselves
yeah.
self-inflicted pain.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think that's the message right across the board. Like, hey, just take the chance. Like, don't hesitate.
Yeah,
Granted, somebody else. Like I always say, when you have ideas, keep it close because the energy does go out there, and anybody else on that
yeah,
frequency,
Mm-hmm.
they actually pick it up as well. And then it comes down to who
yeah,
does it first. But then it also has the thing with who does it best or who does it better, right? So,
yep,
you can still probably enter a market even though somebody else is there. But the thing is,
yeah,
learn from their mistakes, see what they are doing,
yeah,
and fill the gaps so that you don't make the same mistakes that they made. So then you now will come to your clients in a better position, a better level. You may not have started first, but you will be at a position where all your offerings are a lot better. But it still comes down to doing it.
mm-hmm.
It still
Mm-hmm.
comes down to
Very
taking
true.
action. It still comes down to literally, as Mike said, taking it from your mind. All right, even if you get it on paper, but from paper, implement the steps to achieving it. Because
Yeah.
even ink fades on paper, right? If you ever had a quartz bill, right? In a week, right? So, so
Yeah.
ink fades on paper. So you do have to do the things that would solidify or leave that mark that you want to leave, what it is you want to create for your life, and something that you may be able to pass on, whether it's to your children or otherwise, it will be there. But if it remains a thought, once again, we go
Yeah.
back to the graveyard dealing with just listening word, right?
True. True. True.
So
So I
yeah,
got you.
I agree with Mike there. The whole thing is just take the chance. 2021, be one of the people that you're ready to, because be that
Exactly.
person, be that person,
Yeah.
hands down, you know, no if and but so maybes.
Yeah.
Right?
And don't be afraid of people. I think a lot of times people, is watch at the negativity of people trying to pull it down. But then there's a next spectrum to that one as well, and that is a saying that I started telling myself since this year started, and it's a simple statement: parasites only attack trees that bear fruit, which is true.
Yeah,
Um,
Yeah.
Anytime you starting to bear fruit in terms of business or personal, as the case may be, all of a sudden there are those who just want to come around and just try to take a piece of you as you go
it's
along.
on you.
You have to be able to distinguish
Yeah.
between the two. You have things that will help you to be nourished, help you grow, and then you have parasites that are there. And mind you, when they strip your beard, those parasites are not going to stay there to find what's going on. They're going to move on to another tree that bearing fruit. So it's always to be mindful of
Yeah.
that as well. Parasites only attack trees that bear fruit. And when I play that in my mind, I say, no, that's correct. It's true. So again, be mindful of the people that weigh you down as anchors, and distinguish the people that pull it down from the people that supporting it to lift you up. Know the difference between the two, and that will help in terms of your business growing as well. It will help as your personal life growing as well as a career as well within a job. Those who work in corporate and these things like that, they just need to keep that in mind as well.
No,
Food
no,
for
that
thought.
is that is true. You will encounter so many different people in this walks of life. All right, but let me look at it like this as well, because something for me is, for many years, and I have only, I would say, just begun to come out of this mindset. I used to doubt trainees a lot. I'll be real, because for me, too much people accepted mediocrity. Too much people accepted for just getting by. Too much people accepted with just having enough. And to me, there wasn't any forward thinkers, any movers, any shakers, people that really wanted to develop things as a team. A lot of people would just pack their bags and leave, which would just leave the country exactly how they say it is. If the country is so
Yep.
bad, you did nothing to change it, and you just pack up and go, then how does that help? Right?
True.
However, what I've realized is that I've started meeting people now who are like that. And what I realized is we all tend to operate in silos. And it's not always that good people get to meet good people. So it's getting that movement, that collective happening, so that people can see that there are these people that are with good intentions, people who are genuine, people who are willing to help without trying to get something in return, people that do want to help each other grow. We are there, we
Yeah.
are here. But you'll
Yeah.
find that we often don't line we don't be around each other. It's
Yeah.
true. It's true. Some grapevine eventually we tend to meet, but that's the thing. So for me, it was like I tend to always think like, yo, these people don't exist here. That's why I just go live Canada or London or somewhere. But there are a lot of good people here, but we're just disconnected. So we're trying to find ways to connect with more of each other. And that's the thing. So as you grow in business, you will meet those that will latch on, or in life in general, you will find those that latch on. You will find the parasites, you will get the leeches. But then you will also find the people with the lighter, the torch, that people do not grow leeches. The same with the clove,
Yeah.
they remove the parasites from your body. you know. So you have to be able to weigh the two. know that there are the two people. I think I actually posted something recently. If I work with two people, they are my best teachers. I will take their good habits and learn them, and see their bad habits and avoid them.
Yeah.
So you can actually learn regardless of who is around you, is what you take for yourself. So you do have to know, like I said, that circle of influence. You do have to know who around you are the parasites who will let you grow, but still learn from both,
Yeah.
regardless. Yeah, you know, that's good, man. Well, all right. We didn't get any questions tonight, or at least in the chat. I don't know if I know Mike is usually get directly. So I don't know if he got any.
None for the year so far.
And
All
for the
right.
years
Well,
so far.
this is the first conversation for the night. And I mean, it was more or less a general conversation, but we do want people to really
Yeah.
take a chance, really pick up themselves and apply themselves this year. All right. I mean, we don't want 2020 2.0 in your life. So, as always, make sure that you send in the questions, give us the topics that you want to discuss. All right. And let's help you get closer to the goals that you want to achieve and stay aligned with the person you want to be in your life. All right. So any closing remarks, gents?
No closing remarks. I think we have said a lot. Definitely, for persons who are listening and who may tune into this as a recording after on Facebook Live, go ahead and share this link with persons. Let persons know that Mantle is back. For persons who are listening for the first time, go ahead and like our page, share the video to as much persons as possible. And also, this is going to be on YouTube as well. So go ahead and like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. All right. And you'll get all the updates and turn on notifications so you know exactly when we are on. And you can go ahead, feel free to comment, feel free to like the video as well too. It's going to help as well in terms of a lot of people getting the news from Mantle and where we are within the conversation itself. All right, we are a growing community and we are doing well. So shout out to everybody who is on the team and our loyal listeners that we have.
Good.
Thank you all for being here, and for persons who are not on Facebook and are on YouTube, welcome. All right, and tune in for more as well. Yep.
All right.
Right.
Well,
I think for me, all I would say is take control of 2020, take control of 2021. Sorry, even let it be a repeat of 2020, and watch this video again.
Yep. You might miss something.
There was some nuggets in this one that I like. Thinking back now about the conversation we just had, I'm like, people should definitely listen this a second time, because sometimes you miss the smallest thing that could have been the biggest key.
good.
Yeah, that's all.
All right, great.
Well, thanks again, everybody, for tuning in tonight. We will be back next week, Tuesday, with more of the conversation. Until such time, please keep safe, wash your hands, all right, wear your mask, and kindly adhere to all COVID regulations. Keep your family safe. All right. Good night, everybody.
Keep safe.